Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Jai Mata Tutorials. I hope you are doing good, staying safe during these COVID times and go through each and every content and prepare for your examinations as they are very near to you. So in our last class as we discussed some of the topics of physics, electric current, let's go today with our chemistry class where we are going to learn a chapter called structure of atom. So from earlier classes as from 9th and 8th standard onwards, you are learning about what is an atom. So all the basics you will be knowing, children. So just I am briefly going to say about that. As we know, atom is the smallest unit and which cannot be further divided, and there were different atomic theories which were put forward by different scientists. So as you know, like the first scientist John Dalton, he was responsible for this atomic theory, and wherein he said that atoms are indivisible. In the same way, the Rutherford's alpha particle scattering experiment you have learned, J.J. Thomson model of an atom, and even the same way Rutherford has accounted for this atomic model as nuclear planetary model. So he was trying to compare the atomic model with the solar system. Like as we know, like sun is the center and all planets revolve around the sun. In the same way, the nucleus of an atom means, as you know, the atom consists of nucleus, and overall the weight of its nucleus, the weight of an atom due to its nucleus is because of number of presence of protons in it and the neutrons. So as we know, like how sun is the center and all the planets revolve around the sun, in the same way the nucleus of the atom, where you can find nucleus is the center and all the electrons revolve around the nucleus. So about this concept which you know it. But it was the Rutherford's major theory which was a drawback, which you find that it could not account for the stability of an atom. How long the electrons are revolving, so they may collapse into the nucleus, and nucleus where you can find the electrons can fall into the nucleus and they can crash into it and the structure can destroy. So because of the reasons, then the stability was explained. The stability of an atom, which was explained by Niels Bohr by explaining the concept of energy level. Means as we know, like as long as electrons, as you know, like suppose now this is the nucleus and you can find then the nucleus of an atom. So you can find the number of electrons whichever are found. So in each shell, so as you know, like there were different energy levels. So if I can account this particular energy level as K shell, then next is L shell, then M shell, and followed with N shells. So as per Bohr's model, as we learned that each and every electron is designated with specified circular paths, or which we call as circular orbits, or which are designated by shells called K, L, M. And this each energy level which you are calling as shell or which you call as orbit, you can say this as a K shell, which this is an electron here, and this is called as the shell, or you can also say it as orbit here. So this particularly this K shell and L shell or M shell contains some sort of electrons, and this each electron is assigned with certain energy level. So I can say that K shell consists of energy level which belongs to 1. In the same way I say K shell or L shell consists of the energy level which belongs to 2. In the same way I say M as belonging the energy level as 3. So in this way you can find that each and every shell or the electrons which are fixed, which are moving along with their circular paths, which we call as orbits, are designated with certain energy levels. So as long as the electrons remain in this energy levels, we say that the electron is thus stable. So you can find the concept, means here we are trying to explain the stability of an atom wherein the electrons try to lose or gain the energy. So whichever electrons are found to be lower energy try to move to the higher energy levels, and whichever electrons are found in higher energy levels try to move to the lower. Means this kind of state which we call as excited state and ground state, means excited and de-excited state. So in order to see that the atom need to be stable, so always the excitation and de-excitation of electrons takes place, and thus the atom remains stable. So this is very well, this concept is understood, and based on which you should know about the number of electrons present in each shell. So this all we will be going to discuss it, children. So you have to just go through my classes with these earlier concepts of shells, like how many electrons are accommodated per each energy shell. So those all you are going to learn it. And in today's class we are going to learn some important rules for writing electronic configuration. So what do you mean by electronic configuration here? means a particular element, for example hydrogen, helium, lithium. So you want to distribute the number of what you say the electrons per each energy shell or the per each energy level. So that's called as electronic configuration. So to know the electronic configuration, so you should follow certain rules which are given by it. So the first method which you call as NLX method, then you have Above principle, Pauli's exclusion principle, Hund's rule, and concept of orbit and orbital as you know from Bohr's model only. So let's start with the first method which we call as NLX method. So what do you mean by NLX method here? So N stands for principal quantum number, or which we say as energy level, which you know very clearly. N stands for principal quantum number. And L stands for azimuthal angular momentum quantum number. So as you will be learning from the concept of quantum numbers, from that we are need to take here. So this N actually, which principal quantum number is nothing but it gives you the energy level. And based on this, L gives us the shape. It gives us the shape of orbital. And what do you mean by X here? X stands for number of electrons. For example, I'll go for hydrogen configuration. So as you know, hydrogen configuration is written as 1s1. So in the same way, when I'm writing in the form of NLX method, so you can find here, this is the way which we are going to represent it here. So you can find this N which stands for energy level. So you can find here 1 is the energy level. So whenever if you find when N takes the value of 1, so your shape of orbital designates is S. So this is the shape of orbital. So you can find its S orbital which is spherical in shape, and you can find the number of electrons for hydrogen is 1. The number of electrons which you find is here 1. So in this way you can try to, means whenever you are going to write the electronic configuration, so always you should follow this NLX method. First, this is foremost important thing. So always if any of the element, any higher elements or less elements or whichever elements you are going to write its configuration, you should see that you are writing in this form of NLX method only. And based on this, we are going to discuss the other rules like which you are going to follow while writing electronic configuration in our coming next class. That's Above principle, Pauli's exclusion principle, Hund's rule. So these all concepts are very important to make a note or to follow while writing the electronic configuration. So I hope you have understood, children. So once again try to learn it and go through the content whatever I discussed, and try like and subscribe to my channel, and as many as the comments I am expecting from you, so that you can go through the content and you can raise your doubts in the form of comments, so that I can explain you this very well and can answer the questions as in the examination point of view. I hope you are going to enjoy it. So please keep enjoying watching my channel and try to comment it and go with these discussions and try to get the answers, and we'll meet in our next class. Thank you.